feel like no matter where you are or what you identify as, everyone has an opinion on the police. In some countries, the crime rate is so low that the police are mainly there because they should be, not because they have to be. In other countries, the police act as a display of power, oppressing citizens partially because they have exclusive access to firearms. In America, the Second Amendment exists so that there's no fear of the police brazenly oppressing their citizens, because then there would be a small-scale war. Although the police can't openly act as if they're superior, there are other ways that they work to assert their authority over the citizens that they're supposed to protect. With the introduction of body cams and through the use of cell phones, you'd expect that the instances of police officers abusing their power would decrease, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It feels like every week a new video of police brutality or negligence shows up on my feed. Although there are many channels that cover this sort of content, my favorite channel to watch is Audit the Audit. An audit is an official inspection of an individual's or organization's accounts, typically by an independent body. Basically, that means an independent third party is making sure that everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. Most of the citizens featured on Audit the Audit's channel attempt to hold the police accountable by exercising their First Amendment rights. Audit the Audit watches and comments on the actions performed by both the citizen and the police, and then grades all the parties involved on a scale of A+ to an F. Although the commentary in each of his videos should not be taken as legal advice, he used a lot of previous court rulings and laws to predict whether or not a person's action would be seen as legal if presented to a judge. The footage used in the videos are either taken from the citizen's cell phone or police body cam footage, both of which are taken from other channels. For most of the videos on Audit the Audit's channel, your opinion on the situation can sway depending on how much you like the police. Take this video for example. Cop gets fired and sued after this stop. In this video, Karen Nazario, a Virginia National Guard lieutenant, gets pulled over for a potential license plate violation. Rather than immediately pull over on the side of the road, Lieutenant Nazario decides to activate his turn signal and pull into a gas station about a mile away. Lieutenant Nazario wanted to feel safer by pulling into a well-lit area rather than a dark road. This was definitely due to the fact that he was a black man being signaled by the police, a dangerous combination in America. But I think he also had to understand that driving an additional mile to pull over instead of immediately doing so looks suspicious, even if there was no malicious intent behind it. That doesn't give the police the right to do what they did to Lieutenant Nazario though. Throughout the entire encounter, the police were hostile, barely letting Lieutenant Nazario getting a word out, even though he tried his best to de-escalate the situation.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out.
What's
Get
going
out.
on? What
Get
did
out
I
the
do?
car. Get out now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest
For a traffic-
You're being detained. Okay, you're being detained for obstruction.
A police officer pepper sprays Lieutenant Nazario and uses physical force to push him to the ground. I don't know if the police officers got a power trip by forcing Lieutenant to comply with them, but I think pepper spraying someone who just wants answers is a bit excessive, especially considering how much he got pepper sprayed. You can see the pepper spray drip onto his hands and down his face. It's a testament to his strength that he was even able to talk with the officers. It's crazy how awfully some Americans treat their soldiers, on and off duty. Soldiers literally risk their lives so that we can have the freedoms that we do. I'm not saying that Lieutenant Nazario was completely exempt from fault. He definitely did things that did not help his situation. He prioritized gaining information in the moment over complying with the officers and then getting information later. The officers were definitely more at fault though, and one of them even got fired after the footage went viral. I feel like American cops get a bad name for being racist or negligent or for abusing their power or for being all three. And although sometimes that is true, it needs to be stated that people sometimes make it difficult for cops to do their jobs. Some people go to places that they're technically allowed to be and do things that they're technically allowed to do, but they don't need to do those things, and they know that. Sometimes I feel like some people are so bored that they just start looking for problems for fun. There are a lot of videos on Audit the Audit's channel that show people pulling up to a police station and recording it, only for the police to tell them to leave. Take Karen gets arrested at police station for example. In this video, a woman named Jay McWhorter was filming in the Middletown Police Department parking lot when a police vehicle's alarm went off near her. Because the police station's a public building, filming the building is a First Amendment protected activity. But what's the point? Unless you're contracted for a movie, a documentary, or some other film-related medium, there's no reason someone should be walking around filming police station. And definitely no reason why someone should be filming in a police parking lot. In addition to just looking suspicious, it also implies that she's looking to start an argument with the police to try and flex her superior knowledge of her rights.
I don't answer questions.
That's fine.
You don't need to turn your...
I just want to make sure I know why you're setting off an alarm on the
I was over there when the alarm went off and I could show you on tape.
Okay.
So whoever car that is, tell them not to hit their alarm because somebody's out here walking around.
All right, well, just make sure you're not touching the cruisers.
I can touch them, they're ours. Like, really? You think, like, someone can't touch a cruiser?
This situation could have been a lot different and Miss McWhorter just happened to be walking past the police parking lot when one of the police car alarms sounded. But she had been there for a bit of time, so of course the police are going to be suspicious of her. She's in an area full of police cars and a siren went off, and she's recording. Miss McWhorter also takes a very hostile tone towards the officers. She makes aggressive comments and acts like she's above the law.
I think you all need to go back and learn some education. No, it's not.
The parking lot is.
No, it's not. It does not say no unauthorized personnel, and that's the entrance door. This is funny. You guys are gonna look so cute on YouTube again.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's been through similar situations like this with other police officers around the area. They probably hang her picture up in the police cruiser so they know who to avoid when they're out on patrol. This is a situation that even if she was within her legal bounds, her demeanor towards the officers escalated what could have been just a verbal warning into a criminal charge.
This is the third and final request to leave
Good.
the restricted parking lot. Are you refusing?
You can't give me a lawful order.
Are you refusing?
I'm allowed to write a story.
Put your arms on your back.
What makes this even worse is that she was given multiple opportunities to film in a different location away from all the other police cars, but instead she just wanted to argue. I don't know how the police officers were able to handle her, but this goes to show that not all police are corrupt. Some of them actually try and do their job. In the end, Miss McWhorter got charged with criminal trespassing. Again, something that could have been avoided if she had just left during her numerous opportunities. And the police station placed a private property sign in front of the parking lot. There are a lot of videos on Audit the Audit's channel that show people being stupid, rather than just believing that they're in the right. Some people get their information from Facebook, so they believe in the strangest things. Like this woman, who believes that she doesn't need a license to drive a car.
I don't have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Okay. In what state is that?
Any state. It's common law, natural law,
Okay.
constitutional law.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the point of a driver's license was that there's some sort of verification that a person can safely operate a motor vehicle. To be fair, they really do just give licenses out to anyone these days. The amount of people I've seen driving across all 4 lanes, going 20 miles over the speed limit, acting like they're in GTA or something, is insane. But Haley Brooks Smith's defense for why she doesn't need a license after being pulled over for going 54 in a 35 is because she's traveling, not driving, in a personal, not commercial, vehicle.
Are you failing to give me your driver's
I
license?
don't have to give you a driver's license to drive a car. This is not a commercial vehicle.
Okay.
I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
If that were the case, then anyone from my 8-year-old cousin to my friend's dog could legally travel in their own personal car. And we all know how that would go. I honestly think she just pulled out the sovereign citizen defense because she forgot her ID back at home and she didn't just want to say that. Or she had something in the car that she didn't want the officer to see. I will never understand driving without your ID, just because of situations like this. Miss Smith repeatedly asked for a supervisor to come out, and when he affirms to her that she needs to produce a valid driver's license, she ends up getting arrested and her car gets searched. Surprise, surprise, there was a white powdery substance found in the back of her car. No wonder she pulled out that sovereign citizen defense. If you didn't want your car to be searched because you had nose candy in there, the best thing to do was just to be honest with the officer. Not about the nose candy, but the fact that you didn't have an ID. He probably would have just given her a ticket and sent her on her way. Now possession of narcotics charge was added to the other traffic violations she's accumulated so far. If you thought people could get dumber though, you haven't seen anything yet. This story actually made my blood boil when I was first watching it. Essentially, a man named Ahmed Alali was jumped by a squad of police officers while searching for available hotels in the lobby of a Fairfield Inn and Suites. This was because 2 911 calls had been made.
Avon Police Sergeant Rupel.
Hi, my sister works at the Fairfield Inn on Colorado Avenue in Avon. She is a desk worker.
Okay.
There is a male in a full headdress with multiple disposable phones pledging his, pledging his allegiance or something to ISIS.
Okay.
Is very panicky.
She's in the back. I have the text. She said she's terrified. So.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Almanali got religiously profiled, which led to the 911 call. I can't even blame the officers too much for how they handled the situation because they were just working with the information that they were provided. Yeah, there's a case to be made that they could have been a little easier on Mr. Almanali, especially considering he suffered a stroke due to the fact that he was recovering from a previous surgery in combination with being tackled by the police. But if you believe someone has a bomb, then you're not going to take any chances. Most, if not all, of the blame goes on the people who made those calls. Saying someone was pledging their allegiance to ISIS is a far cry from what actually happened.
He wanted a month's stay. He was leaving July 13th to the 14th, around there, and I tried to help him as much as possible. Everyone said that they were booked and they couldn't help him. I told him, and then he wanted to sit in our lobby. He didn't want to leave.
So you said you guys were booked?
Yeah, we said we were booked.
Okay.
Everywhere he called is booked too. It's summer, people are
Sure,
traveling.
absolutely.
So, I mean, that's what he had 2 phones. He was searching the internet on one phone, making calls on a disposable phone. That's really all that I know. It just freaks me out because of everything going on.
He didn't say anything else?
No, it's.
Because the call we got is that someone said that he was pledging his allegiance to ISIS
No.
Who would have said that? Who made the call?
I told my sister, I said, "Why did he just in It's my sister. Her name's Allison.
The receptionist who informed their sister about the suspicious, in heavy quotation marks, looking man only did so because she was uncomfortable with the fact that he had 2 phones and he was coming up to the receptionist desk asking a lot of questions. Which first, it's literally her job to answer questions that customers have, especially since Mr. Ahmed Alali was looking for available rooms in an area that was heavily booked. And second, having 2 phones is fairly common, especially for people who live outside the US. But some Americans also have both work phones and personal phones, so I don't understand why having 2 phones is a problem. Her testimony is a far cry from the claim that he was pledging his allegiance to ISIS, and in my opinion, everyone involved with the phone call and the religious profiling should receive punishment for committing a hate crime, placing a false 911 call, or a mix of the two. The receptionist has since lost her job and is engaged in a lawsuit, which is a step in the right direction. I feel like I've been ragging on citizens for too long, but I promise this is the last one I'm going to cover. Then I'll cover some positive interactions on both ends. In Cops Defense Citizen from False 911 Caller, we see an auditor that goes by SLO County Observer filming a business on the sidewalk between the business and the school. Stanley Alger, the owner of the business, approached SLO and asked him to stop recording his property. This is again another situation where SLO is technically protected by the First Amendment, but does he really need to record the sunset right there? It doesn't matter though, because Mr. Alger was out for blood and broke the camera he's recording with anyway, then called 911. It was weird because he kept hanging up and answering calls, not fully giving the police enough information to properly address the situation.
San Jose Emergency, how may I help you?
Well, yes, good morning. My name is Stan. My company is Peninsula Crane and Rigging. Can you send an officer to 656 Will Creek Drive? I have a suspicious person who is videotaping my property and so they won't explain himself.
How long is the person there?
Thank you very much, ma'am.
How long has he been there? Hello?
This is Stan.
Oh, hi, Stan. This is San Jose Police. Is that gentleman still there?
Yes, he is. And
okay.
He's refusing to move.
Okay. Where is he at on the property?
Move. He is videotaping my property from the sidewalk.
So he's on the sidewalk. Okay, I understand. But he's in front of the business, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And does he have any weapons?
No, he has cameras. Description is approximately 5'8" to 10. He has a light dark black beard and so forth. He has sunglasses. He is wearing a black hoodie and jeans.
And how long has he been out there?
I don't know, but he was spotted videotaping and so forth. And when I asked him to cease and desist, he refused and won't identify who he is. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and how do you spell your last name, sir? I can't spell it.
It's ridiculous.
Whatever.
Hello?
You can comment all you want, sir.
One of his employees also calls 911, and what she says is atrocious.
San Jose Emergency?
Hi, I need a police officer dispatched, please, to 656 Wool Creek Drive immediately. Huh?
What's going on there?
There's a man out here who is standing on the sidewalk. He keeps taking pictures of the kids at the school across the street. He looks like he's got something in his back pocket. It almost looked like a gun. Someone needs to get out here right now.
So so we've already got the call there, and I want you to slow down for a minute. What makes you guys think it's a gun in the back pocket?
I don't know. It looks funny. It's got something that looks like a handle. I'm just saying, I'm not getting close enough to the son of a...
Okay, what?
So where are the officers?
Ma'am, they're going to be on the way. What color is the handle?
It's black.
Okay.
Please, just hurry. I've got to go. Please.
What is your name, ma'am? Emergency, how may I help you?
Yes, you guys need to send a police officer or more than one. There's a gentleman out in our yard with a gun, I believe.
What's the address?
Back 656 Wool Creek.
Is that a house or an apartment?
It's in a business.
And the name of the business?
Peninsula Crane.
And he has a gun where?
It looks like he has a gun.
Where?
And I'm telling you what, if you guys don't come in the next 5 minutes, I'm calling all the TV stations.
Ma'am,
what?
A gun where?
What? In his bag.
Okay, one moment.
Hurry up.
Saying that someone has a gun just so that the police will respond more quickly is not only stupid, but a waste of resources. Because again, the police only knows what the 911 caller has provided them. Luckily, when the police eventually do reach the business, they can see through the BS and tell the owner and the employee off for wasting everyone's time, because SLO has a right to film there. The way they tell Mr. Alger that SLO has every right to be there is so funny.
Who's on the sidewalk?
Okay, so he has a
yes, he has a right to be on the sidewalk.
Yes,
but does he have a right to videotape?
Yes, you're in public view.
Okay, but does he have a right to not identify himself?
Yes, 100%.
He doesn't even have to identify himself to us.
I wish that his employee got some sort of charge for just blatantly lying to the police, because SLO could have gotten seriously injured if the police actually thought he had a gun on him. The fact that she was able to just get away with the lies that she did is insane to me. Let's move on from the stupidity, shall we? Not all police interactions are hostile one way or the other. Sometimes police interactions end up being peaceful. In Pulled Over with a Gun on His Chest, we see a man whose YouTube channel is 2 Guns D. He's being pulled over for driving with unregistered plates. If I were the police officers pulling up to the car seeing a man with a gun strapped to his chest, I would be scared shitless. It amazes me that instead of immediately being hostile towards 2 Guns D, the officers were friendly, asking him questions, and even joking with him.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep my hands like this for y'all. That's cool?
Okay, no, you find this little steering wheel.
Yes, sir.
You have a loaded Glock.
Hey, listen.
We find out that 2 Guns D is a licensed firearm instructor who was on his way to drop off his car at a body shop so that he could move what was in his car to one with registered license plates. What was 2 Guns D transporting, you might ask? Well, only enough firearms to supply a small army. As he was listing just how many guns he had in his car, I almost couldn't believe it.
So that's why I got machine guns back there, silencers, anything you need, just let me know. But yeah,
I understand that we're in America, but what are you gonna do with a machine gun? 2 Guns D had proof of everything though. He had licenses for all his guns, proof that he was an instructor, and his concealed carry permit. Oh yeah, in addition to the gun strapped to his chest, he also had a concealed gun strapped to his appendix.
Yes, sir.
on your person.
Yes, sir. I got a Glock on my chest, obviously, and I also have a SIG 365 in my appendix.
In your appendix?
Well,
okay, hey, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Concealed.
Like I said, it's a miracle that these were the cops that stopped him and not some cops trying to fill a quota. This video made me feel a little bit of hope that people can still have positive interactions devoid of bias on both sides. It was surprising to me that a video filled with so many guns can make me feel so warm and fuzzy inside. Audit the Audit's channel was one of the most informative channels I've watched, and I've intentionally left out some of the more insane videos so you can watch them for yourself. I learned so much more about American law and what rights they provide from watching these insane situations, and I think the commentary and grading system used is very fair. There are some times where I thought the cops or civilians should have gotten a lower or higher grade, then I realized that the points Audit the Audit were making were valid. Audit the Audit is one of the most objective channels I've had the pleasure of watching. It's refreshing to see someone disregard personal biases they may have in favor of neutrality. It maximizes the educational aspect of his videos, and even allows some of the most extreme ends of the spectrum to come together and watch something from a neutral perspective. I hope that I've convinced you to at the very least check out Audit the Audit. I promise you won't be disappointed.